Well, Gavin, it's never easy to lose games, but particularly when you lose by 4-0. How do you sum that up?
I don't think we dress it up any other way. They were, well, particularly second half, they were much better than us in every department. First half I thought the game was a little bit, there wasn't a lot in it in the first half. We had a couple of half chances. They had, the chance when the lad went through. I think Reece was a good save, to be fair. But you're chasing the game when you make a challenge like that, when the player's going nowhere, and all of a sudden you've got a mountain to climb. I thought second half, the one thing we can't do is deny them. There's no sitting here thinking we were poor. We were massively poor in moments, but I think they played really well, and you can't deny them that. So let's get that out there. However, the players were briefed. We've come off scratching our heads because the first thing we look at is whether we've not done our job this week, and the results suggest that we haven't. But when we look at how it's played out, the boys have been briefed. They've worked hard on a couple of sessions and the things that we thought would play out have played out today from a Hampton point of view. But we've just not been able to cope with that. Switched off at key moments, and then you're chasing the game a little bit at the end. It becomes the game could go either way once you put the two up top and be a little bit more open, and unfortunately it went the wrong way for us. So supporters, as normal, say this every week, win, lose or draw, been absolutely superb, and they were superb again today. So the support they're giving me is unbelievable. So especially after that. So yeah, I won't point fingers just at the moment. I'll go away and digest it over the next 24 hours, look at footage and see where we went wrong, and see whether I'm actually right in the respect that we're briefing players, we're getting things, I think, out there, we're getting things right in respect of how we're training, but people not execute it on the pitch is where I sit at the moment.
By the sounds of it, you obviously trusted the team as well. It was an unchanged 11, and certainly the setup as well. So obviously there was an inherent degree of trust for the players to go out and perform as they did last week.
Yeah, and listen, I don't necessarily regret that. Morally, I don't regret that. Obviously, from a result perspective, not sure it would have changed too much, but it could have done. We wanted a team that was going to be out there to run and compete, because we knew that Hampton would do that in really well. So, I made some very, very key decisions in respect of not putting certain players out there. But those lads have had another go at it after the Bath result, and unfortunately, what happens next week happens next week.
What did you make of the substitutes when they came on? Obviously, it was a critical juncture in the game. I think we'd just gone 2-0 down when the first lot of substitutes came on. But how did you assess their impact on the game?
I think they all did pretty well, personally. But they're feeding on scraps in that respect, because we can't keep the ball well enough. Don't trust ourselves to keep the ball well enough. And but I can't fault them when they came on. I brought players into play, and young Alfie showed us what he could do, and I think Jake up there and Harry looked a handful at times. But the game's done. The game's done really, because on the third one it's game over. So I'm pleased for Zav coming on, because he's had to be a bit patient. Did all right at the back there. So we'll just have to see how it all sets up next week, because quite simply that is not good enough.
Obviously, football matches often turn on moments. Going behind in 2 minutes is one, but Harley hitting both posts with a free kick is another. That said, does it perhaps frustrate you a little bit that while defensively we made mistakes, we also perhaps didn't create enough going forwards?
No, we didn't. We really didn't. And look, at the end of the day, to win the game today, we've had to score 5, which by anyone's standards is going to be a very, very difficult thing to do. In other weeks, when we've limited it to maybe 1 goal in games, we've sometimes come up short in those respects of creating chances and certainly scoring goals. So I brought Jake in to do that. He's got to get up to speed in respect of what we're doing. I'm confident that he will do that. I am confident he will do that. But he can't feed off scraps. So we've got to be more creative in what we're doing. And if we're not creative in what we're doing, we're not going to score enough goals. We can't rely on a 1-0 away like we did last week at Bath and keeping a clean sheet, because we're clearly stats tell us at the moment we're struggling to do that.
Do you feel that that's an issue of personnel, or is it simply the performance of the players that you are selecting, or is it a tactical thing? What do you put that down to?
Well, listen, let's get it right. You know, I'll be honest, and I'll always be very, very honest. I've brought the players in, okay. So if it is an issue with personnel, then I've got to shoulder that basically. But I think from our point of view, you know, we've come here with a different direction. We came here with a game plan, and I think the boys have switched off at times and haven't carried that through. So I've got to have a look at it, because, and I'm fed up with saying it, to be honest with you. From my point of view, it's just so disappointing in respect of how we fell away in this game.
We've got another 2 training sessions before a game against Weymouth next week. I suppose is it too early to call it a crunch match?
Well, yeah, probably in the months that we're in and the football that's still to be played, of course. But we're in a position in this league for a reason at the moment. So we now need to start to put points on the board. Now, we did that last week. We haven't done that today, and Weymouth is a team that is also down there with us at the moment. And so you could look at it and think, well, it is a crunch match in some respects. You know, Weymouth are a good side. There's no question about that, as every team is in this league. So I can't dress it up any other way and start talking about there's lots of football still to be played, we're still a work in progress and all that sort of thing. That's just nonsense to me. At the moment, you know, I expect better of the sides that I'm putting out there, and I expect better from them on the pitch. They're running hard. I can't deny that they are doing that for me. They are running hard, but in respect of switching off, it's just not good enough.
Let's hope we turn it around next week. Thank you, Gavin.